Okay, good evening, everyone. Can anyone hear me? Hello, good evening, everyone. Yeah, anything. Just that. Just that. Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Take time. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me? All right. So, I would love to personally welcome you to this class. Um, we plan on just having a simple introduction to what airdrops are. All right. This is it's relatively quite a serious business. All right. The goal is that eventually by the end of everything that will be done, you'll be able to profit from airdrops as it were. Okay. It's airdrops are one of those ways that a lot of persons are actually making money. Okay. If you really know how to position yourself for it, and then you are able to um not just position yourself but take the necessary actions required to actually make money from it. Okay, so I really do not want to waste much of our time here. Okay, I do not want to waste much of our time here. So while we are at it, um let's quickly go into it. Okay. So the topic for the night is simple. Okay, it's pretty much simple. Okay, we want to talk airdrops, and then want to have a basic understanding of what they are, and not just what they are, but why they are actually done, and some tips or kind of like a basic foundation of how you as an individual can actually benefit from it. Okay. So that's basically what we just want to do. All right. So you need to understand one thing as we start. All right. If a project is going to make any headway, if a project is going to be profitable as it were, if it's going to grow, all right, one thing is essential. The place of communities, the place of a community in the growth of any project, it's invaluable. It cannot be quantified. Okay. Having to do the things you want to do as a project or as the founders of a project, but with zero community, it's 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 heartbreaking. All right. There's really no way you can do certain things when you do not have a certain amount of community or a minimum amount of members within a community. All right. So projects will rise, projects will fall, mostly depending on the quality as well as the quantity of the community that the project has. All right. And this is basically where airdrops come into play. Okay. Because the truth is, airdrops mostly is focused majorly around community building. That's actually the truth. If people are going to give out something, usually it's because they expect that, okay, we are giving this out, but in return we are going to get this, we are going to get this, we are going to get that. All right. True, airdrops are free. But the fact also is that there is nothing free, even in Freetown. All right. So as we proceed, you are going to see most of these things, and then as we go, you'll get to learn more and more of it. All right. So what exactly are airdrops? All right, what are airdrops? Okay, within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrencies, airdrop is a marketing method that is employed by startups in the cryptocurrency space. Okay, it's usually by startups, majorly, most often than not, is by startups. But you get to see that sometimes also there are deviants to this. All right, there are deviants to this. Sometimes some other persons can actually do it. All right, but majorly we get airdrops from um startups, with especially within the cryptocurrency space. And then what's it all about? It's just about you distributing tokens, or the startup itself distributing tokens to users or to potential users, either for free or in exchange for a small promotional service. Now, most airdrops are free actually. All right, in fact, almost all of them are free. Um, if any airdrop requires you to send something first, before you can actually get the airdrop, they require to send you a specific amount of a token before you can get the airdrop. You really need to look again. That on its own actually is a red flag. Okay, usually airdrops are given for free. All right, usually there are cases where you might need a minimum amount of gas fee, of course, to claim. All right, not always. All right, but most often than not, you get to see airdrops where you are required to actually pay a certain amount of money. All right, to to kind of to kind of um gain from it. All right, sorry, to kind of claim it. All right, to kind of claim it. Okay, but majorly it's actually free. Okay, so now, why airdrops? Why would anybody decide that, okay, we want to do an airdrop? Okay, why? Number one, we need to generate buzz around the project. A lot of projects are coming out. We already have a lot of projects within the cryptocurrency space. Okay, a lot of persons are occupied with those projects, and the truth is, you need the buzz, you need the noise. Okay, you need the noise. If your project is not making that noise, it becomes a problem. Okay, so with airdrops, your major purpose is you want people to get talking about this project. You need a lot of persons to say, okay, this is this project, and because they are giving this, let's talk about this. Probably highlights most of the beautiful things about your project, the strong points of your project, how they could benefit from it. Okay, so you need the buzz. You need the buzz around the project. Okay, now, apart from that, why airdrops? Sometimes to reward users. Okay, by the time we go into the types of airdrops, the major types of airdrops, I would stop to talk. In the blockchain space, loyalty is often rewarded. Okay, if you decide to stick with a particular exchange, decide to stick with a particular blockchain. I remember I think that was few months back. For some persons that had made a minimum amount of transaction within the AVAX blockchain, they were sent some particular token. Why? Simply because they made a minimum, or they held. I really can't remember now, but it was either because they held a minimum amount of AVAX, Avalanche token. The Avalanche token, they had a minimum amount of transaction within the AVAX blockchain. Okay, so you use airdrop sometimes to reward users for certain behaviors. All right, and then of course to create a community. As I've said already, projects will rise, projects will fall, depending on how strong, depending on the quantity of the community. Okay, now the major aim of airdrops, most often than not, is that they are trying to spread awareness. All right, they are trying to spread awareness about the cryptocurrency projects, as well as to get more persons to trade the tokens or to know more about the token. Okay, now Airdrops can be used to do a number of different things. Okay, please. All right. So airdrops can be used to do a number of different things. All right. Some of them being to reward loyal customers, as I've said already, to generate excitement around the project, to increase the overall interest in the project. You need to get persons interested. Okay. We are not just talking about the big players now. We are talking about the individual persons. Okay, the individual persons, you need them to get excited about this project, and then also to identify potential customers. This is, you have an amazing product, no matter how beautiful it is, no matter how great it is. If there are no users, it's going nowhere. The products will die, the projects will die. All right, so you need users, you need customers. That's the place. That's where airdrops come into play. All right, to new products or services, as well as to incentivize followers who perform certain tasks that will help the project grow. As I've said already, it's all about community. That's it, community. All right. You see persons that will help the project as a whole to grow. You incentivize them. You tell them to do one or two things. They do them. Things such as sharing social media posts or creating an account on a platform. They do these things, and then in return you reward these guys for the little things that they've done, all right, to help boost the growth of the project itself, all right, and then also to facilitate decentralization, especially in our world now where governance token is a thing. Okay, we are trying as much as possible to just one person. Okay, you want decentralization within governance as much as possible. You don't want just one person to have the high, in such a case that one person's vote is able to pull the whole crowd. Okay, you want to spread it across as much as possible. All right, so with airdrops, that is also quite possible. Now, these are some things to note before we continue. Number one, some projects will distribute their tokens without asking you to perform a task. Because the flow is usually you do something for us and then we'll give you part of our tokens just to thank you for it. However, for some persons or for some projects, they would not require you to do anything. All right, and when I say they will not require you to do anything, I mean within the context of probably sharing posts on Twitter, retweeting posts on Twitter, following the different social media handles. All right, they might decide on other criteria to use to reward individual persons. Okay, the criteria will of course be made known. They will make it public. They will say that this, and this is what you must do to be eligible for the reward, as it were. The second thing you need to know is that while others may ask you to perform certain tasks before claiming, all right, okay, first and foremost, some persons will not ask you to do anything, okay, whereas some persons would ask you to do some other thing, all right. So that's basically it. Those are those things, the two things you must note. Now, different platforms, this is important, may require you to have a wallet based on the blockchain that they employ for their service. The last time I checked, we have over 1,000 different blockchain network. All right, this is of course within the major 4 types of blockchain majorly that we have, but we have up to like 1,000 different blockchains just on their own. That's a lot. All right, and then thank God for bridging. Bridging is here. Bridging is doing wonders. All right, you're able to move from blockchain to blockchain. Most of these blockchain networks are not interoperable. Okay, and then not only that, they have different protocols and they have different wallet addresses. Okay, so you are a project built on the Algorand network, or let me use something much more familiar, a project built on the Ethereum network, and then they tell you to perform certain tasks, and then you do those tasks, and they now ask you to submit your Ethereum wallet and then you go submit your Solana wallet. Of course, that's not possible. You've basically lost that for that. All right, or a project built within the Solana blockchain, and then they've told you to perform certain tasks, and then you perform these tasks. All right, only for them to now ask for your wallet address, and then you are sending your Ethereum wallet address. That doesn't make sense. Okay, you can it will go, and that will be the end of it. All right, so you would need to know at least the major difference blockchains have their wallets installed, and then know when you are required to know the wallets that you are required to have, know the blockchain, the project you are pursuing the airdrop is built on, and then know, all right, the wallet address that you'll be sending to get your rewards. All right, as part of what we'll be doing, of course, we'll be going through some major blockchains and then helping you set up their different wallets and all, at least to help position you. All right, just to help position you for what is to come. Okay, just to help position you. All right, so you will need to know the blockchain in if you really want to get the token as part of the airdrop. So let's talk types of airdrops. All right, let's talk types of airdrops. Of course, stopping delays to be your standard airdrop. Now, what do you do, or what happens with the standard airdrop? All right, with the standard airdrop, a certain amount of token is sent to you simply for performing certain tasks. And some of the tasks may include you simply going to follow the project on the different social media handles, from their Twitter page to their Telegram accounts. You follow their group, you follow their channel, to their Discord server. Some may require to may go as far as asking you to follow them on to give them likes on Facebook. Some may go as far as asking you to follow their Instagram handles. Totally depends on the project. Totally depends on the social media handles that they are trying to build on. Okay, the social media channels that they are trying to increase, the social media channels they are trying to grow. It is totally dependent on them. You need to understand that these guys are the ones that make the rules. Okay, your own part, the part you have to play is simply to ensure that, okay, I meet these rules. Okay, as long as you meet the rules, you should, all right, you should be free to go. You should be good to go. Okay, as long as you meet those rules. All right, so that's it for standard airdrops. They could ask you certain tasks, as I've said already, following social media handles, providing your email address. All right, usually as part of a white list, or as part of those that will be having early access to the products and all. Okay, that's something like that. All right, so you simply complete these tasks, and then in exchange for completing this task, dead with some tokens. All right, so that's how it is normally with the standard airdrops. And then usually for all right, fill up a form, and within the form they will provide spaces. They'll provide some space, and within this space they would ask you to give proof that you've actually performed these tasks. All right, for the form they might ask you to drop your username, and then when you're dropping your username, of course they will check up, see probably if they ask for a follow, to check the person's following them, check if your username is, of course, is a long process, is a tedious process. I'm guessing there is a way it's automated. I think so. I would love to think so. All right, with the advent of technology and everything, I would love to assume that to some extent some of these processes have been automated. All right, but if it has not, okay, then definitely they would, with the form, they cross-check with your username, check if you are following them, check if you retweeted. They might ask to for you to drop your retweet link and those kind of stuff. All right, that's for the form part. But if you are not filling a form, okay, if you are not filling the form, they might do it via a bot. They might do it via a bot. All right, and then if they are going to do it via a bot, all right, most likely it's going to be a Telegram bot, of course, and then with the Telegram bot, you'll be asked to, of course, do all those follow, and then the bot would actually be automating it on its own. Makes life quite easier. So that's for the standard airdrops. All right, let's talk exclusive airdrops. Exclusive airdrops. Now, exclusive airdrops, as the name implies, is designated exclusively. All right, exclusively for persons that have an established history with that project. Maybe not with the project, but at least with the blockchain, all right, on which that particular project is built on. Okay, you do not necessarily have to have a history with the project. Sometimes for some exclusive airdrops, sometimes you may just have to have a history with the blockchain upon which okay, I'm mistaking exclusive airdrops for holder airdrops now, pardon that. All right, for exclusive airdrops, you have to have an established history with that particular project. All right, this usually comes most often as what we call retroactive airdrops, and then it will often involve dApps, all right, decentralized applications. I think a typical example now would be the case of Uniswap. Okay, with the case of Uniswap, as is written there, Uniswap gave around 2,500 uni tokens in September 2020, all right, to loyal users. All right, it was given for free. It was a drop to them. All right, for persons that met certain requirements, and probably they used Uniswap to make a minimum amount of transaction. They were able to, in terms of volume and in terms of quantity, the number of times those transactions were made, these things were taken into consideration, and then they were used, all right, as a means to actually reward these guys. All right, that's for exclusive airdrops. And there was one that also happened with Paraswap. That was still last year. All right, that one we are talking about a minimum of around 10,000 USD. All right, for those persons that were able to qualify, it was a good amount of money. All right, it was a reasonable amount of money. All right, so that was an exclusive airdrop. There must be some sort of history. There must be a level of loyalty with that particular project for you to actually participate, to be a part of those that will be giving this airdrop. So exclusive airdrops, this is the one that you should really be looking at. All right, it's your eye should really be on this one. Okay, and the thing with it is that it may often come with you spending gas fees, because of course if you're going to use projects, okay, if you're going to interact or a product which comprises of